Happy Thursday. We are here with Momma on Lincoln. Oops. We had Mom up here last night on Lincoln. That little pink thing is annoying. And she's back up here this morning. Karel is going to go take a peek for Wink. See if she sees, or see if he sees him. Hello, Miss Denny. She's nearby you. Good morning, Noel. We are here with Mom. This is where we left her last night. It was kind of a madhouse here last night. Parking is not ideal, so we did not stream her. But we're out for a bit here this morning. Check on him. And yes, she's in the shade. Sorry, we actually do. The sun will reappear in Ithaca today. Good morning, Jackie. Miss Tink. Everybody says good morning, Mama. It's definitely chilly. Looking at one. So we are pretty much blocked on visibility. Lincoln on one side, Sibley on the other, and trees on east and west, so not a lot of visibility. Unless they're way up high and over her. Oh, the sun's trying to light her up there. You look beautiful, Mama. Oh, she looks great on the phone. She doesn't look quite like that with the naked eye, but wow. Mom, you look gorgeous. She says, thank you. I knew it, but it's all right to hear. Yes, it is, isn't it, Noel? Good morning, Fraser baby. Oh, look at her. Holy cow. It's amazing what these cell phones can do these days. Jeez. Oops. Make sure this is on. See if this will work or not. I just wanted to say, maybe you just want to park over there. You know what I mean? And if you don't find him, you can come over here and then I'll take a pass, see if he's popped up. But the sun is, it's, Mom is just like got this beautiful glow. So even though we're sort of on the wrong side, she's gorgeous on the phone. Whatever, I just thought it'll be easier for you to park over, you know what I mean? And then we can switch. Okay. Oh, got it. Yeah, or by white. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Go by white. Okay. All right. Bye. I think a robin spotted you, Mom. Look at her. Mom, you're a beaut. Yeah. Hmm? Yeah, it is something, isn't it? Tink. Sure. Oh. So, wow, my lord. Yeah. Just can't pick that up on camera. She is a beaut here on the phone, isn't she? Jeez. We should. Seeing with the camera. Wow. It's crazy. All right, if you just joined us, we are here with gorgeous Momma this morning, up on Lincoln, and Karel is off looking for Wink. Mom was here last night, but it was kind of a madhouse here, and lots of things flying at work, so we were both tired, and so we did not stay too long last night. Actually, we spent most of the time trying to catch up with Wink, which we didn't. So Karel's been off trying to see if he can catch up with him, and then we're going to switch. He'll come over here, and I'll see if he's popped up, make another pass. Boy, see something there. Look at that. Oi, Momma. She is gorgeous on the phone. I hope it's coming across that way. Oh, well, now she's dark, but she has been. No sign of him?
No, but I mean, I just came straight across.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go wandering all over.
All right, I'll take a peek.
Okay.
Heavy iPhone this time.
Okay. Did you say hello to people? I'll see who's on. I'm gonna see who's on. Good morning. Morning, Yuri. Thank you. Good morning, Noel and Tequila and Birdie and Jackie. Good morning, Tink. Good morning, Fraser baby. So yes, we have our beautiful mom, and I'm really tempted. I'm gonna spin her back out, focus, and bring her back in. I wonder if I can get a spot up on the hill. It's awfully pretty there. So let's go wander up. Pretty sure we can get a spot maybe across the, well, I don't know. I know it's kind of nice. So she is up there on Lincoln. See the bump up there? It's pretty, isn't it? We got sky reflecting off of the walkway, the breezeway, whatever you want to call it, the connector. Got some gorgeous trees here in front of, on the north end of Lincoln. So we're here, and that's the it's Sibley there. With the addition, the Clarman addition, there's Rand. So Lincoln is music. And they added, when Jane Peterson was here as the college business officer, she was responsible for a lot of additions here, or in renovations, and this was one of them. Lincoln Hall was the portion to the right of the walkway, the beautiful, I guess, mauve stone. I think that probably comes from, I'm not sure, Pennsylvania maybe. Actually, yeah, I do like it up there because we have better white balance here. Do I want to do it that way? Yeah. How about, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? It's beautiful. You can tap on her and see if we, it'll bring it forward. Kind of washes her out though a little bit. Do I love that? I love that though. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so she added on this portion of Lincoln. I think she also oversaw the renovation of Whitehall over there across the quad, which is there's Stone Row there, and Whitehall is at the north end of Stone Row, right next to, on the west side of the Arch Quad. And then she oversaw the renovation of Morrill Hall. She oversaw I think the renovation of Rockefeller and the construction of the Physical Sciences building there across the way, across East Avenue there, on the set of buildings that run from Baker Lab, and then you have what was Clark Hall, which is physics, and now it's a combination of Clark Hall and Physical Sciences building, and then south of that is Rocky, and then south of that is A.D. White. So that's all along the east side of East Avenue here, across the street from here, from Lincoln Hall. And I'm trying to remember whether or not I think that was it. I mean, she may have done other stuff as well. I'm not sure she was here for Klarman. I think that might have been Dave Taylor. And now we have the renovation work, the large reconstruction, almost internal reconstruction of McGraw Hall. And that is, they already have the materials yard for that laid out. I don't think there's any materials there, but that'll be starting pretty soon. And I believe that is funded with essentially mostly donor funds. So that'll be very exciting. That was one of my first jobs here at Cornell, was working in McGraw Hall, and did computer support and ran a graduate computing lab there back in the day. It's a long time ago, 30-something years ago. We had terminals in there for mainframes for Cornell A, which was the academic mainframe, as opposed to Cornell C, which was the administrative mainframe. Look at that. Wow. Moly benolis. Is that stunning or what? And we also had, I believe, a VAX computer. So none of this stuff was like there in McGraw Hall. We just had, it was up in the CCC, Cornell Computing Center, I guess is what it was. So they had terminals for VAX as well. Most of the time the students were doing either using SPSS, or I think they had SAS on Cornell A, and maybe, I'm not sure what they had on VAX. And they also had, what was it? It's not Regedit. It was something, there was an editing program on the mainframe that the students used through the terminals. And that's how they wrote their theses, their PhD or master thesis or doctoral theses on these terminals in this editing program. I mean, this editing program is actually pretty cool. You know, it's a word processor on a mainframe. And I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was something edit. Jeffrey might remember. So he's not as old as I am. And they used to have a tape library there in the basement across the hall from my little office in the grad computing lab there. And then I provided computer support for the departments there in the building, which were basically government, where Cindy's aunt worked, and anthropology was there, and history was up on the top floor, on the fourth floor. Anthro was like on the second and third floor. History was third and fourth. Government was first and second, and their TAs had their offices in the basement. And anthropology was at they had a lab, I think, at the south end of the basement, and then I think they might have been a little bit somewhere on the south end. Well, no, not on the south end of the first floor. That was where the lecture room was, lecture hall was. So anyway, it was interesting, nice people. I really enjoyed it. It's interesting to have a combination of supporting staff members, administrative people, and also academics and the grad students. Most of the time with the grad students, it was like, how come this terminal's not working? How come the modem that was hardwired into the wall wasn't working? So that was actually interesting, because toward the end of my time there, networking and the intranet and email started to appear. And so we literally, a guy named Miles McCready and I, he was a brilliant guy, the ultimate sort of beyond techie, who I think works for, he went to work for a big company a long time ago. Anyway, we actually went around buildings and physically took computers apart and installed Ethernet cards into them. And CIT ran the wiring through trays in the building and stuff like that, and so we installed Ethernet cards, and then we installed, I don't even know if we installed a browser at all, because there were no browsers. The only browsers that were really available at that point were like Lynx, which was a text-based browser, and maybe the very first versions of Mozilla. And people had like, I know I've told this story before, but I had one professor who said, "So why do I want this email thing? What's this for?" And very interesting time. And I remember participating in a presentation over here in Goldwyn Smith by the Arts College IT people and myself, in terms of like presenting what the internet was to people, and like what you might see in a browser or whatever. And pretty fascinating. We actually, in my office, I would hire students, and I always went and hired the best computer science students I could find, and they did most of their hours at the beginning of the semester for me, and then they would work less toward the end when they had their exams and things like that. And we put together some really nice stuff, actually. I remember coding there's a program called DBase, which I think is still out there. It's basically a database for PCs, and there was a version that the guy before me had put on his computer, which became my computer there in the office, which was DBX. And so I learned how to program it, and then I tied it into the email system, which had just come through. And I remember writing programs that would read the emails and take the content out of them, put them into a database, and then present it like on a little web server that I hosted for a professor who was a very famous professor who was putting together a conference. And he wanted to be able to look at submissions and all these kinds of things. So that was like 35 years ago. So that was pretty cutting edge. That was like really cutting edge technology integration and stuff. And then we took some floor plans of the building with my students, and created image files and image maps. They showed me how that works. So that's the part that they helped me with. And they did some Python, which was just beginning back then. It had just arrived. It was like a research language. So Python today is like ubiquitous within the just web development world, but also within the data science world. So back then, Python had just emerged, and they were teaching it in the CS classes for the first time. And so they said, well, let's use Python, and we can create a web page, and we can put these maps up, and we can make them clickable. And that's what we did. So we showed in our little presentation here at Goldwyn Smith, we showed people how you could click on a map and get information, which was very cool. 35 years ago. Hello.
Hi, is Mom still up there?
Yes, and she looks gorgeous.
Yes, I know, I told you. Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to cut across the quad. I don't know. I thought maybe I had him somewhere around here, but I had a squirrel complaining, but I couldn't find him, and of course now it's quieted down.
Okay.
I didn't see anybody move, but...
So are you saying we're done?
Well, no, I didn't know if you wanted me to go over there. I mean, I don't know when you have to get back.
I think I'm pretty flexible. I mean, it's more up to you. And I mean, there's this drop-off zone thing here that's empty.
Yeah, I know, for 30 minutes. All right, so let me hang out here a little bit more, see if I can spot him, see if I can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and if I don't, then I'll come over there and pick you up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
unless
bye.
something's happening and we're happy here with Mom. I mean, you're welcome to come over now and just park and get some more photographs of her or something. Okay. I'll see you when I see you. Anyway, so sometimes, the moral of the story is that cool things happened at the very beginning, and and there's just more of the same happening now, but that sort of pioneering work that happened back then is sort of like the really cool stuff. So we're kind of entering another kind of phase of potentially pioneering work that's going to happen, though it's much more understood in terms of what direction it's probably going to go than it was back then. I mean, back then people had like literally were saying, why would I want email? I don't understand. What's this web thing? And so anyway, so Birdie, you speak medical, not computer. Well, I get it. Good, I'm glad that BOGette said good morning to everybody. So sometimes the innovation goes unappreciated and unnoticed for decades. If Jeffrey were on, he would appreciate it, Fraser baby. And Niren would certainly. Good morning, Chinook. Well, basic was pretty challenging, Birdie, actually. How'd you do in the program, in the course? Morning. He's occupying the, what's he gonna do there? I didn't think there was a dumpster there. I remember one professor who refused to activate his email sent us back an error every time we need to send the faculty. Fortunately for our sanity, he finally retired. Timex Sinclair. Oh, I love it. So, anybody have a deck rainbow or a, whatchamacallit? Deck rainbows were awesome computers. Or a Terac. Anybody have a Terac? Alright, I gotta hang on a second. There we go. Let's get back to the natural world here. Let's spin her out. Spin it back and pull her back in. Perpetual, excellent, Birdie. Oh yes. I love it. Decision made. Well, I'm guessing you did, Birdie. How could you not? Time to Sinclair. Wow, I'm gonna have to look that one up. TRS-80, was that Radio Shack, I think? Kayla? Danny? Bertie, do you remember what computer you did your basic programming on? Was it an IBM? Yeah, Tandy. Wow. Amazing. So, my understanding, the nice thing about the DEC Rainbow was that it was actually a multitasking windowing system before other windowing systems. I do need to look at that. Apple IIe. Oh wow, interesting. That's so funny, Chinook. Oh, that is hysterical. Well, there was a and so when I came on board, I mean, I knew nothing about computers, and Cindy had to show me how to turn on a computer and try to explain WordPerfect to me and reveal codes and all that kind of stuff. I had absolutely no clue, and I really didn't have a clue for quite a while. But she had used typesetting machines for years. That's how she helped put herself through Cornell and things like that, doing typesetting work on the side. And it was the same thing when we were in New York City. She had several typesetting jobs, one of which was at Carnegie Hall. And so that was a really cool typesetting machine. So she worked in the sweatshops in New York City too when we were first there, doing the ads for flyers and all that kind of stuff. But then when at Carnegie Hall, she did the beautiful programs and stuff, and they had a new typesetting machine which was very cool, that emitted the film a certain way and the prints and all that kind of stuff that were ready to roll. So that was cool, and so she knew a lot about computers as well. My brother, who was a physicist, he had PDP-11s and all sorts of stuff, and he sort of tried to explain it to me, but had no idea. So anyway, when I started my job here, everybody had sort of been forced to transition to the common computer of like the IBM 8088 with the dual floppies and stuff. Some professors had got 8086s, I believe, that had like a hard drive in them and a floppy drive. It was like 80 megabytes, I think, was the hard drive. It was like amazing. And the RAM was kind of like what you were talking about, Chinook and stuff. And so, but it was like crazy. It was, we had WordPerfect, and they had Excel. It was all character-based stuff. And then we tried doing Windows 2 or Windows 3 or something, and it was pretty awful. Everybody hated it and stuff. So those were definitely a step backwards. I mean, everybody knows that it was just a massive step backwards to go to the IBM and Microsoft DOS, MS-DOS, or IBM DOS, or PC DOS, or whatever was being OEM'd onto these machines because they were just, non-multitasking, non-windowing, non-nothing. And, good, how are you? Have a look. Her name's Big Red.
Huh.
She's a red-tailed hawk on campus, and she got her nest off, Tower Road.
Yep.
So where the women's field hockey field is. There's the alumni fields there on the across from like the tall tower and
Right.
stuff. Yeah. So on one of the light towers there, she's got her nest. She's been there with her original mate Ezra, and then in the last recent years with Arthur. They've had a nest there since 2012.
Wow.
So the Lavabos
That's a long time.
It is, yeah. She's in her 20s.
Wow.
And
Now, so in her years, is that
she's
this-
doing pretty good. I mean, she'll probably live into her 20s.
right?
You know what I mean? She's well cared for, by her mate and stuff. So she's got a pretty stress-free life. So far, she's avoided. They know the campus really, really well. So they're here year-round.
Right.
So far she's done great. She got a year off when Ezra died, so that helped her a lot because she didn't have to lay eggs and
Right.
all that kind of stuff. So she's doing really well, and Arthur looks after her real nicely. So she's a happy lady, and they got a nest there, and the Lavabos got webcams on there. So if you actually Google the Cornell Hawks,
Yeah.
you'll find the link to the live stream camera that's running 24/7 there, and you can see them build their nest and lay their eggs and hatch the chicks and feed them and the whole 9 yards and watch the chicks grow up. It's really, really nice.
Huh.
Yeah. So we do this throughout the year, my wife and I. We've been doing this since 2012.
Right.
Just tracking them off the nest and their kids when their kids hatch
Right.
and fly around and learn how to hunt and all that kind of stuff. She had two beautiful chicks this year. They usually have 3. One year they had 4. This year they had 2. Both of them died. One of them died from a window strike here on campus, and the other one died from West Nile infection.
Right.
And stuff. So yeah, so they're doing good.
Well, you have a good day.
Thank you. Appreciate you stopping. I'm tempted to go up there because I don't know how long we can stay, but all right. I see. Yeah, I get it. Well, he'll be leaving in a second.
Huh?
He'll be leaving in a second. We stopped by to see what was going on.
All right, well.
All right. Well, we should
sadly,
probably.
I had lots to do,
Yeah.
but I think Mom's was beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, Jackie. So Jackie learned to program COBOL and Fortran. We have some coders here on our stream. We have Birdie learned BASIC and wrote a perpetual calendar. Chinook had something Sinclair. Birdie, you were a teenage genius to graduate college in 1969. Bree said, when I graduated from college in 1969, my roommate was hired at Social Security Administration to attend their first programming class. Birdie had an Apple IIe. Danny had a Tandy Radio Shack TRS-80.
Got Mom out of focus.
Oh yeah, okay. And an NCR Decision Mate 5. And Chinook had a Timex Sinclair in 1980. I know these are all like crazy computers that were way ahead of the IBMs, but they didn't have the market share. Okay, got it. All right, kids, we're gonna see you guys. Thanks for joining. See you, Ma. Bye.